All right, so had to turn on the light here. So going from social media to probably the most prevalent thing ever, superhero movies. Which it's interesting. I will say this. I remember when Renegade Media Group, Nate said that we are living in the golden age of comic book movies. Nate Hamilton from Renegade Media Group said, "We are living in the golden age of comic book movies. This will be remembered as the golden age." And yeah, I mean, there's always going to be comic book movies after that, but I mean, when you think about it, we started off with, because superhero and comic book movies, superhero movies in general, were not really that big until the late 90s. I remember there you had your Richard Donner Superman, the original 1978 original, and you had your Batman and your Batman Returns. And you even had a few movies like Rocketeer, The Mask, The Crow, I think was another one of those. But, superhero movies were not really the norm back then. And, but then a little movie in 1998 came out, and that movie was Blade, the OG Marvel movie, the first Marvel movie to ever come out. And it was such a huge success for Marvel that essentially it led to them making X-Men, and then it led to them making Spider-Man, and then we transitioned to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's going great so far. And last year we were supposed to get a few of these movies, but a lot of them were delayed indefinitely because of the pandemic. But we've got like 2021 and 2022. We are getting a lot of stuff in as far as comic book movies go. I gotta really trying to remember if I remember which one is gonna come out, but we've got here from Watch Mojo top 10 upcoming superhero movies of 2021 and 2022. The Suicide Squad is the one I am the most looking forward to because I have a feeling this will probably be great. From what I hear from test screenings that they've aired, it's pretty good. I'm hoping it's really great. I remember reading one comment on the Suicide Squad. I think it was the moderator for the Snyder Cut Instagram page who said that the movie did not look good. I wholeheartedly disagree with you there, buddy. But this movie's, I mean, I think it's going to be great. I mean, especially given what James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. I have high hopes that he'll deliver a great Suicide Squad film, and what might probably be his best film. From what I hear, Gunn had a lot of complete creative control on the movie. So yeah, and I know people are like, "Where's the Ayer cut? Where's the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad?" Which I would have wanted. I mean, it's I'm curious as to what David Ayer's original version was gonna be, but you know, I feel like we should watch this first, and then maybe HBO Max can release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, because from what I know, David Ayer's original version of the movie was a far better movie than what we got, because by the time they were knee deep in post production, Batman v Superman came out and it got a very polarizing response, like very mixed to negative, very polarizing. And so Warner Brothers had to rush up and they essentially ruined the movie, which I'm glad the DCU is now at a phase where there's no involvement with Jeff Johns or some of the older Warner Brothers executives, that now they're more focused on letting filmmakers do their own thing, which is a good thing. I mean, we should have gotten that a long while ago, but the only time we ever did get that was on, well, pre Aquaman, was Man of Steel and Wonder Woman. Man of Steel told a very singular story, and it's a great movie. I have my qualms with Man of Steel, only one qualm with it, but it's not one I'm desperate to talk about now. But and Wonder Woman was like, the one where everyone collectively agreed was great. So yeah. But yeah, let's see what superhero movies are going to be in store for us in theaters. I know I am finally excited to check out Black Widow. Although I am hoping for I'm curious if the premiere access on Disney Plus will allow for Disney to kind of put a loophole and say, here, here's the IMAX version. Because Disney and IMAX, I think, have a weird contract. I think Disney and IMAX just don't get along very well, which, release the IMAX cut of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I want to see them in the IMAX aspect ratio. I love IMAX, so yeah, I love that expanded ratio as well. That big screen. I've been to an IMAX theater, a few times. I would like to go back to one though. Let's start.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 upcoming superhero movies of 2021 and 2022.
What is the price for your blind eye?
Where did you think I was all this time? We have
Black Widow and the Batman. Those are the ones I'm the most excited for.
unfinished business.
I went from dying to feeling more alive than ever.
For this list, we're looking at superhero movies coming out over the next few years. Since release dates are subject to change, don't be surprised if some of these get pushed back. Which upcoming superhero movie has you the most excited? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, this one I'm
Release
really
date,
excited for.
March 25th, 2022. Doctor Strange was ultimately written out of the WandaVision finale, but Scarlet Witch will work alongside the Sorcerer Supreme in the Multiverse of Madness.
The reason they did that was because they wanted to avoid the trope of the guy savior, from what I understand. And as far as I am upset about them not having Doctor Strange, and I understand why they wouldn't want to go with that trope of like, yeah, we have to have the male white savior or the male savior trope. Which, yeah, but WandaVision was awesome. I know people criticize the ending, but I actually enjoy the last episode. The last episode is probably my favorite because it was episodes 8 and 9 of WandaVision. I connected with them more emotionally than any of the other episodes. And if the last 2 episodes of the series make you tear up, that's the sign you have a good series.
Oh, God. You don't know what you've done.
Jet Klein and Julian Hilliard also reportedly appeared on the film's set as Tommy and Billy, respectively. In addition to WandaVision, this Doctor Strange sequel connects to Loki and Spidey's next outing. The film will undoubtedly be an integral puzzle piece in the MCU, but it has the potential to be a unique standalone outing as well.
That was a pretty awesome shot here. Doctor Strange
We all
one is
know
probably
director Sam
in,
Raimi for the original
one of my
Spider-Man
top.
and Evil Dead trilogies. With the lesser-known Darkman, though,
My mom
Raimi
just showed
bridged the
up.
gap between
I'm gonna go help out
superheroes
my
and
mom.
horror. If Raimi can achieve a similar...
Wow, such a long time. I was somewhere around here, and then my mom showed up, so let's go back to the video.
standalone outing as well. We all know director Sam Raimi for the original Spider-Man and Evil Dead trilogies.
Yeah.
With the lesser-known Darkman, though, Raimi bridged the gap between superheroes and horror. If Raimi can achieve a similar effect here, this may be the strangest MCU movie yet.
That is hilarious.
Number 9, Thor, Love
Thor,
and
Love
Thunder.
and Thunder. From what I know, I think a lot of the future Marvel movies that at least work with ILM, that at least have ILM VFX, are gonna use that similar stagecraft technology on The Mandalorian. So that's why I'm excited, because Thor: Love and Thunder, you can tell they're gonna use the virtual set. And from what I know, Baz Idion, the DP on The Mandalorian, is the DP on this movie. So that's interesting.
Release date, May 6th, 2022. Although Ragnarok was the third Thor movie, it was arguably the first to hit it out of the park.
Okay, for me, the first Thor movie, then Thor Ragnarok, and Love and Thunder as a complete trilogy. The Dark World does not count. I did not like Dark World. But I did recently rewatch the first Thor movie, and from what I can tell from watching that and Ragnarok, is that, Dark World was attempting to do something different, and it did not succeed. Whereas Taika Waititi he managed to bring it back to basics while providing his own spin on it, and that's why both the first Thor and Thor Ragnarok are so great. Thor Ragnarok is probably my fourth favorite film in the MCU, because I think my top five would be Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and the first Iron Man movie. So yeah.
Yes!
I can still hear from
Having
here.
tapped into something so inventive and fun, director Taika Waititi could not stop there. Waititi returns for Love and Thunder along with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. The sequel won't ignore the first two Thor films, though, as Natalie Portman will have a far more significant role as Jane Foster.
My damn dogs do not stop. Because just when I'm about to talk, they show up. Hold on. I'm gonna have to pause again. Oh, wait, I didn't catch that. Let me go back, because my dogs distracted the living hell out of me. Like, again, I love my dogs, I do, but sometimes the dogs can get on your nerves.
Fun, director Taika Waititi could not stop there. Waititi returns for Love and Thunder along with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. The sequel won't ignore the first two Thor films, though, as Natalie Portman will have a far more significant role as Jane Foster.
I will say this, technically, you don't need to. Okay, ignore Dark World. Don't ignore the first Thor movie. First Thor movie is actually pretty good, regardless of what people tell you.
Although some would argue that Jane has been underwritten and utilized in the past, her evolution into the mighty Thor should open up an assortment of new possibilities.
She was good in the first one. Her character was practically there as the love interest, but Jane's character in the first Thor movie kind of helped humanize Thor a bit, and they underwrote her role the most in the Dark World, where it was like she just needed to be there.
Throw in the Guardians of the Galaxy, Lady Sif, Grandmaster, Christian Bale, and Matt Damon, and how can you go wrong?
I'm in charge. I know, of course you are. Of course.
Number 8, The Flash. Release date, November 4th, 2022.
I'm mostly excited for The Flash because, I don't know. From what I hear, this might be Ezra Miller's last time playing Flash. But, just leave it close here. Okay, good. I got a slight window open. I am actually hoping, though, I am excited because they got, Andy Muschietti, directing this, more so for, directing, he's done some good films, like Mama and It Chapter 1. Wasn't such a big fan of It Chapter 2, but, hey, who knows, not everything has to be perfect. Then again, the second half of it was never really good.
While the Snyder Cut helped flesh out Barry Allen's backstory, The Flash is long overdue for a solo DCEU outing. Multiple directors have come and gone from the project, but it seems the studio has finally found the right fit with Andy Muschietti of the It movies. Borrowing from the Flashpoint storyline, the film will likely shake up the DCEU, as well as the DC multiverse, in unprecedented ways.
Make your own future.
For starters, Ben Affleck won't be the only Dark Knight to pop up. For the first time since 1992, Michael Keaton is reprising his role from Tim Burton's Batman movies. And yes, they're pretending Kilmer and Clooney never happened.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Damn it. Stupid ads. I'm sorry about that. I'm actually going to use these as speakers because it's better, and that way I can hear something that happens. This is actually a better way to use headphones. Now.
Number 7. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Release date, July 8th.
Man. the fact that Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us is really sad. He died too soon, and but the legacy, like the impact that he left is, will always be remembered from like, playing Jackie Robinson to playing James Brown to Black freaking Panther and his final role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and even the Five Bloods. That was also a really good movie. I miss Chadwick Boseman so much. I really want to know how they're gonna do Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because from what I know, they will explore more of the world of Wakanda, which sometimes I'm thankful petitions never work, because there are some who think they should recast T'Challa, and I put my foot down and I say no. Chadwick Boseman is T'Challa, and I think recasting the role would kind of be dishonor and very sacrilegious. It would be like, dishonoring Chadwick Boseman, because look, I get why there are some recasts that happen, like in the Harry Potter films, when after, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Richard Harris died, and because, Dumbledore is kind of a very, important, item in the movies that is very integral to the plot, they had to cast Michael Gambon. And I get why, but that's Harry Potter. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Entirely different franchises, and I'm glad that Marvel has decided, I don't know for sure, not to recast the role. I am thankful that, they are respecting, the legacy of Chadwick Boseman. I'm excited overall because I remember seeing Black Panther in theater and I really enjoyed it.
2022. Many wondered if the Black Panther sequel should move forward with the untimely and tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. In 2021, director Ryan Coogler stated that Boseman, quote, wouldn't have wanted us to stop. Coogler and everyone else involved is striving to produce a film that honors Boseman's memory and legacy.
I am not ready to be without you.
Instead of recasting T'Challa or digitally recreating Boseman, the film will see Shuri take on a larger role, with several other cast members returning as well.
Great, another broken white boy for us to fix. This is going to be fun.
Beyond that, very little has been revealed about the project except for its poignant title, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The title reveal got Marvel fans everywhere choked up, and we sense audiences are going to need more tissues once the film makes its debut.
Yeah.
Wakanda forever!
Number 6. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Release date, September 3rd, 2021. Shang-Chi delivers two things we've waited years to see in the MCU: an Asian-led hero and the real Mandarin.
It's time for you to take your place by my side.
In addition to relative newcomers like Simu Liu as the titular master of Kung Fu, the cast includes seasoned stars like Awkwafina and Tony Leung. Speaking of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon actors, the Shang-Chi trailer sends off similar vibes with its mix of martial arts and fantastical elements.
Who are you?
Also, Michelle Yeoh is in this movie, so that's a...
It looks different than anything the MCU has ever tackled before, but that signature Marvel charm is still present. Just as Black Panther was a cultural milestone, Shang-Chi may be another step for representation in Hollywood.
We make a good team!
Number 5. Eternals. Release date, November 5th, 2021. Fresh off winning the Best Picture and Director Oscars for Nomadland, Chloe Zhao ventures into new territory with Eternals. Whereas her previous film cost $5 million, the budget for Eternals is 40 times that.
When you love something, you fight for it.
While Zhao has worked with prominent performers like Frances McDormand and David Strathairn, she's primarily known for casting untrained actors. With Eternals, she's enlisted an all-star ensemble including Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Salma Hayek, and a long list of others. As different as this may be,
I will say I'm probably the only one, aside from Jeremy Scott of CinemaSins, who's actually excited to see this film, because I like that they're going in a different direction, that they're using more practical locations. And I saw a few reactions to the trailer, and they were like, I don't know how to feel about this. And I get that the style is not what we gotten used to in the MCU, but that's a good thing. I like to see something different every once in a while because I always say to everyone that to me the best looking films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are the first two Iron Mans because they had really great cinematography. Like they were shot on film, and they had Matthew Lee Batique as the cinematographer. And Matthew Lee Batique, he's got that good eye for visuals from working on movies for Spike Lee and Darren Aronofsky. And more recently he did A Star Is Born, which has some really was really well shot. And yeah, I'm thinking with Eternals, I'm glad that Marvel is sort of going on a back to basics approach by using more locations, which is always a good thing. For me, I'm a huge love. I have a huge love of practical locations, practical effects, practical anything like this wall. uh, you know, wall senpai, you name it. But Eternals looks very good from what I've seen, and it might be probably an Oscar contender, much like Black Panther was. With best cinematography, best. I don't know. I have a feeling this is gonna win a lot of awards. I don't know for sure. I've been wrong before, but then again, I'm not really watching the Oscars next year. I am actually just gonna wait and see the results. But then again, I've broken a few promises before.
Before Zhao. The early footage for Eternals has a Western aesthetic akin to Nomadland, The Rider, and Songs My Brothers Taught Me.
I love that.
Although
Western.
we can anticipate more effects and action, Eternals still seems like a Chloe Zhao movie at its core, which is definitely promising.
We're the ones who changed everything.
Number 4. Black Widow. Release date, July 9th, 2021. It feels like we've been waiting eons for this movie to come out, and not just because of the numerous delays.
I'm done running for my past.
The funny thing about Black Widow is that this movie's actually been in development hell since the early 2000s. I remember at one point, David Hayter, or as you know him as Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, was at one point attached to write the script and direct in it. He did have a full script treatment, but at the time, female-led action films or superhero films were not quite big. And if you saw Catwoman, it's understandable why, because you did have your Kill Bills and your Tomb Raiders, but you also had stuff like horrible movies, not so good movies like Blood Rain or Catwoman, horrible movies. And the reason Black Widow, I would say she should have gotten her movie right after Iron Man 2. But Ike Perlmutter, I think, was running the Marvel at the time. A lot of people, including Nate from Renegade Media Group, say it's because Scarlett Johansson got pregnant after the first Avengers film. Which is not true. Scarlett Johansson was pregnant during the filming of Avengers Age of Ultron, which is what caused Joss Whedon to kind of almost damage my favorite character, probably my favorite character aside from Iron Man in the MCU. But, to be fair, yeah. But I'm glad this movie's finally coming out. And it's also directed by another indie filmmaker, Kate Shortland, who did Lore and Berlin Syndrome, both of which are really good movies. More so, Berlin Syndrome is very slow paced, but it's a pretty good film. But I like that she's going, so yeah. I realized that we're getting more diversity in filmmakers, and that's something I'll always be proud of regardless. Let me see if I can try to tap it with my foot. Yeah.
Fans have been imploring Marvel to give Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow a movie since her debut in 2010. The demand to see Black Widow fly solo only intensified with her scene-stealing work in subsequent releases, especially Captain America: The Winter Soldier. After more than a decade of providing backup, Natasha Romanoff is finally getting the spotlight.
How many others are there?
While not exactly an origin story, the film will see Natasha revisit her past and family. Only time will tell if this is Natasha's farewell from the MCU, but we can reportedly expect to see more of Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova in Hawkeye.
All right, enough. All of you.
Also, Florence Pugh is becoming one of my quickly becoming one of my new favorite performers in the business, because she was really great in Fighting with My Family. She was also great in Little Women, and she was also really great in Midsummer. You know, she's quickly becoming one of my new favorite actresses, which is exciting. You know, she's really great from what I've seen, and I cannot wait to see her as Yelena Belova. I've actually read the Marvel Knights run of Black Widow, which to me is my favorite Black Widow run, is when they introduced Yelena Belova. And it's like, oh, there's not just Nat, there's also a whole world of Black Widows that's interesting. You know, like, yeah, so like Marvel Knights, like the Richard K. Morgan stuff is interesting for me. I've actually got to collect those comics. I want to have like a full stack of Black Widow comics because, yeah, I've read more Black Widow comics than I can imagine.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
Number 3, The Suicide Squad. Release date, August 6th, 2021. Although James Gunn's firing from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was controversial, things have worked out better than anyone could have expected.
Nothing like a bloodbath to start the day.
Not only did Gunn work things out with Disney in the end, but his time off from Marvel opened the door for him to direct The Suicide Squad. Gunn has cherry-picked the few redeeming aspects from 2016's Suicide Squad, namely Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
From there, he's rebuilt everything from the ground up with a 1970s war aesthetic, a bonkers sense of humor, and a colorful cast of comic book characters you probably haven't heard of, but you will not forget them after this. Any movie with Idris Elba, John Cena, and a talking shark voiced by Sylvester Stallone is doing something right.
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
We're all gonna die.
Another interesting thing is that the film has a really cool color aesthetic, and interestingly enough, Stefan Sonnenfeld, who's done a lot of, is doing the color on this as well. But I have high hopes in James Gunn for this movie, and I think this could... Also, there's also going to be a Peacemaker series, which I'm also excited for.
Number 2, The Batman. Release date, March 4th, 2022.
This one is the most exciting.
Does this mean anything to you?
Originally conceived for Ben Affleck's Batman, this film has since severed its ties from the DCEU. Although we were initially skeptical about yet another incarnation of Batman, our confidence has grown with each new announcement. Robert Pattinson is donning the cape and cowl as a younger Batman in a story that returns to his detective roots. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable as the Penguin, while Zoe Kravitz will play Catwoman for the second time. The first being the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
While that sounds like the same lineup as Batman Returns, the main villain is Paul Dano's Riddler. Let's just say he's not doing a Jim Carrey impression. Will Matt Reeves etch out his place among Burton and Nolan as one of the best Batman directors?
How am I part of this? You'll see.
It makes me sad, about Batfleck overall, because regardless of your opinions on Batman v Superman, which there are a lot, I think Zack Snyder delivered probably one of the best on-screen Batmans, and Ben Affleck did such a great job that it's sad that, what Warner Brothers did with the DCU, just caring more about competition and money rather than, content, and good stories is what saddens me deeply. It's sad that I'll never get to see Ben Affleck as Batman again. Although we will see him in The Flash, we'll never get to see a solo Batfleck movie. Because he really got the role right. But I'm excited for The Batman. I'm so excited for this movie. Especially with Matt Reeves. After what he did, I have faith in Matt Reeves after Dawn of and War for the Planet of the Apes. So yeah, let's see what's the next movie.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Release date, September 24th, 2021. We still think Natural Born Carnage would have been a better title.
That would have been a funny title. Venom. I'm just thinking of natural born killers now. I'm a natural born Carnage, baby. That movie is so good.
Welcome back, Eddie Brock. It's been a long time. Miss you so much.
I am hoping that they do this right. That at least I hope the filmmaker, like from what I hear, I think Andy Serkis and Tom Hardy managed to get enough creative control to do what they wanted. Please, God, let this be rated R. I don't want it to be like the last movie.
Black Adam, July 29th, 2022. Yeah. Why has it taken The Rock this long to play a comic book character?
Because he's in a lot of things, but I'm also excited for Black Adam. Another interesting thing is that the cinematographer from Joker, Lawrence Sher, is going to be the DP on Black Adam. And the same director of Black Adam has also done Unknown, Nonstop, and Run All Night, and The Commuter with Liam Neeson. He also did The Shallows, which was very good. And I can't wait to see Jungle Cruise. I'm actually excited to see what, Dwayne Johnson and Yam Sarah give us in Jungle Cruise. And, judging by how it looks like they worked so well in that movie that either I'm hearing the sound of a gun or a car breaking, or like some car like going. It's hard to record video sometimes when you're in danger. I don't know. All right, let's get back to the video. I paused.
Kahndaq needed a hero. Instead, they got me.
Aquaman 2. Release date, December 16th, 2022. Ironically, this could come out the same day as a certain James Cameron sequel.
To be fair, Aquaman 2 is more exciting. I'm more excited for Aquaman 2 than I am for Avatar 2. I'm just saying, because James Cameron, for me, he just kind of... It's like he's become more of a pretentious troll than a filmmaker over the years. And I don't know.
If gods make known their will.
The Marvels. Release date, November 11th, 2022. Carol Danvers won't be the only Marvelous one. Kamala Khan, anyone?
Miss Marvel is one of the newer...
And they're also going to have Monica Rambeau from WandaVision come back. And I'm so excited because, she was really great. Because the actress who played, I really did enjoy the character of Monica in WandaVision.
Newer characters in the Marvel comics. And when one comes in that grabs the world's imagination like this, the questions are, when are we going to bring Miss Marvel to the screen?
Morbius. Release date, January 28th, 2022. Jared Leto as the living vampire? Yeah, sounds about right.
How far are we allowed to go? To fix something that's broken.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man.
Number 1. Spider-Man No Way Home.
I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew that this, of course, it has to be number 1, because I am hoping with this one we get a better movie than we did get with Far From Home, because I kind of liked Far From Home back when I first saw it in theaters. But the more I thought about it, and given what was happening on the behind-the-scenes drama with the whole Marvel and Sony fallout at the time, it kind of ruined the movie for me. And the thing is, Far From Home, they should have released it in 2020, as the start of Phase 4. But now I can't see it as the start of Phase 4, but I will not call it the end of Phase 3. Endgame is the true ending of Phase 3 in the Infinity Saga. Whereas Far From Home feels more like the bridge, well, goodbye, Phase 3. What's going on? Spider-Man Far From Home? I'll still drive. Come on, Phase 4's there. Everything gets delayed. This is going to be a long road. But I'm finally glad we're getting No Way Home. And, I'm excited.
Release date, December 17th, 2021. Between this and the Into the Spider-Verse sequel, we kind of feel spoiled.
The last movie title thing.
Alfred Molina is strapping...
I want to see all the titles here. Home Sweet Home, gross. Can't Find Home, Close to Home. Homeworld, boring. That was a pretty good title, honestly. Homeworld, because I remember that was one of the film. I think I saw a video of a modern fan trailer of what the third before it was actually titled No Way Home, and it was Homeworlds. Let's see. Work from home, please no. Wanna go home. No place like home. Home run. Welcome home. Home Alone copyright issues. Homemade. Too cutesy. Webcamming it. Webcamming. Keep it PG. Oh my god. Far from home. We did this already. Homesick. Ugh. Homeschool. Anime says no. Zooming home. Please stay at home. Stop. Hard path. No Way Home. Official title. Alright. Close to home.
Alfred Molina is strapping the tentacles back on as Doc Ock, and Jamie Foxx is getting recharged as Electro. But
hopefully they do a better job with Electro here than they did in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But is Spider-Man No Way Home really the crossover event we're expecting? Tom Holland has denied rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back. Garfield also claimed he wasn't involved, but added, quote, never say never.
You want me to come down there so you can kill me?
Yes!
I'll be right there.
Although we probably shouldn't jump to any conclusions, bear in mind that Marvel can be quite protective of its secrets. Whatever they have in store for us, we're just grateful this sequel is happening at all after Disney and Sony's financial dispute. After that bombshell in Far From Home, this story needs a proper continuation.
Spider-Man's name...
and a closure.
Is Peter Parker. What the...
Do you agree with our picks? Check out...
So yeah, that's a lot of stuff coming out in between 2021 and 2022. Just a lot of movies. So if I'm gonna just look up everything now. Okay. List English. Actually, list of comic book movies. Movies, a list of films based on English language comics. Okay. I think the last one that came out last year was, let's see, upcoming films. Let's see, 2021, Black Widow, The Suicide Squad, Shang-Chi, let's see, Spider-Man No Way Home. The Kingsman, they left out The Kingsman, which I'm actually excited, but they keep delaying that so much that I'm starting to lose interest, but you know, hopefully I think The Kingsman looks pretty good from what I've seen. Let's see, 2022, Morbius, The Batman, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Spider-Verse sequel, The Flash, The Marvels, Aquaman 2, and in 2023, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians Volume 3, and Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's like all of it, so many things. Oh my god, they made a Time Cop sequel. Thank God I never knew about that. No, let me see if I type it in. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. And then, there's still more movies, I think, coming out. If I go back to the MCU. Let's see. Films, The Infinity Saga, Future. So it looks like they're mostly focusing on Phase 4 right now. They are focusing on the Phase 4 television series. So yeah, Loki is coming up, and What If, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye. Yeah, so they're mostly focusing on Phase 4 right now. Let me check DC Extended Universe. Wikipedia. Yeah. Yeah, DC Extended Universe. So yeah, the thing with DC was they tried so hard to, compete that they ended up failing. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Okay. Other films in development. So I remember they announced a lot of projects. But yeah, there's a lot of them that are still in development. So there's the Amazons, which is a bit of a Wonder Woman spinoff. So it's a spinoff on the Amazon race of Themyscira and Themyscira Batgirl, which finally has its directors, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who the guys who directed Bad Boys for Life and are currently directing a few episodes of Ms. Marvel. Um, oh, there was a Black Hawk movie. Spielberg has announced that he plan. Wow, okay. However, and that Spielberg would return to directing. Apparently, Spielberg is gonna make a black. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen though. Yeah, a Deadshot movie. Which originally I remember Idris Elba was originally gonna be recast. Was going to recast Will Smith as Deadshot, but yeah, that did not end up happening. So they had to replace him with another character. So so that Will Smith could return, because I really like Will Smith was easily the best part of Suicide Squad. See, Gotham City Sirens. This is another one. There's also supposed to be a Green Lantern Corps movie. A Lobo movie, which they've announced a while ago, but has never come to fruition. Supergirl and Wonder Woman 3. So yeah. And television series. Peacemaker. So their first one is going to be Peacemaker, and then they're developing Justice League Dark, which originally started off as a movie, if I'm not mistaken. I remember it started off as a movie, and it had Guillermo del Toro and Doug Liman. According to Variety, Justice League Dark will premiere after the individual team members their own series, similar to how it happened in The Defenders. They're also doing a Constantine, and I see reworked projects. The Batman. Yeah. This is what saddens me the most. Is that it's sad that Ray Fisher is no longer going to be Cyborg. Because he was so great. After what I've seen in the Snyder Cut, like, it makes me sad that given all the shit that Ray Fisher has gone through, it's upsetting. Because he was really one of the most pivotal role. He really did have a pivotal role in the Snyder Cut that Warner Brothers was like, no. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out. That doesn't need to be in there. Because Cyborg is an awesome character, and they made him even more cooler and more of a tragic hero. And let's see. I really wish they would bring back, Cyborg. And Harley Quinn versus the Joker. The film was canceled. Obviously, another Joker film was canceled. Justice League sequels canceled. The next month. Yeah, apparently, and the Man of Steel sequel was eventually canceled. That included Brainiac and Kryptonian to manage the Phantom Zone at the end of Man of Steel. So that's a thing that's interesting, because, and yeah, New Gods was another one. And The Trench is the one that was canceled. So it's like, I think it's because of Warner Brothers. They just don't know when to quit. And it's sad that they don't let certain filmmakers have their own creative control. So I'm over 44 minutes in this. My God. I'm going to end it here. So I will leave a link to the original video down below. I'll leave a link to Watch Mojo and a link to my Instagram page. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I mean, what is the one superhero movie or comic book movie in general that you are the most excited for? I know for me it's no order. It's Black Widow, The Batman, and The Suicide Squad. Those are the three ones that and Eternals as well. Those are the ones I'm the most excited for. And I guess until next time, I will wish you, the audience, Godspeed. Take care. By the way, I accidentally burnt my tongue earlier this morning. I've also still got to wait